Well, hi, good morning. Thanks so much for joining me in my shop here. It's now July 3rd. Another fantastic day outside. I was not in my shop yesterday. But before I go any further, I must apologize. I posted two videos out of order. Video number 18 and 19. I posted 19 without posting 18. So I very much apologize for that. It kind of ruins the story, but I have posted 18 now, so I can't undo what's done. Okay, so this will be number 20 here, and so I had this out in my garage, gave it a good test. The owner actually dropped by to check out how things are going very well, but we encountered a funny problem with the FM being unstable, and we could tune the radio to a station and it just seemed to be unstable is the best word for it. Certainly not usable. But it only took a little bit of poking around to discover that somehow the small antenna board here, if you flex it a little bit, the problem goes away. So there must be some kind of bad connection problem back behind this board. So we're going to go after that this morning and see if we can't resolve what's up. What's up with this? Good. So I think before I get going, I'm going to go pour myself a cup of coffee, and then we'll go at this thing. Make it quick and get outside. Great. Maybe before I start experimenting with this, I should just take a very close look at it. So this is the board we're talking about, this little piece here. The FM antenna plugs into these two, comes on a connector, a very common connector, just has two prongs fixed on it, and it goes. This is a little lever switch here, which if you turn this to this point, then the shortwave radio will attempt to use the FM antenna as an antenna, which at best it's a better than nothing arrangement, which is what's going on here. Right now it's set off, so to speak. So if you want to run an antenna on FM, you need, or shortwave, you need to connect it into this terminal. This one down here is a ground terminal, which you may or may not need at all. Here's a close-up look at that stuff. So first thing that catches my attention is look at the there's quite a patina on the surface of the metal. That could have been the problem right there. Looks like there's some jaws in the back there that when you push in the pin, those jaws spread apart and kind of bite onto it. So you'd think you get a pretty good connection here, but the first thing I discovered was wiggling the antenna wire caused this effect, but later I was able to attribute the effect to something other than the antenna wire. But was that true? And the antenna and its connector is fixed in the cabinet, and that's out in my garage. So well, those are pretty bad. Now, why? And black usually comes with silver. You get black tarnish on silver, and I think it's conductive, just like copper oxide is conductive. Okay, let's look at the back, because I think the problem is going to be in the back here. I'll be looking for, well, right off, there's a rivet here. Rivet, but the rivet is doing nothing. The rivet is just holding this metal. The wires are soldered to it, so any rivet type connections kind of questionable. This red wire. So you can see the end of the red wire is cut here. The wire carries on somewhere in the I bet you this is, maybe, I don't know. This red wire carries on in the cabinet somewhere. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the another alternative shortwave antenna, just a wire. I don't know. I should go out and take a look. I'll have to go out and take a look at just exactly where this red wire goes. Oh, it's hooked up over here. It's not on the. It's not on. It's on this. It's on this board. This is the one we're interested in. Is this one? has something to do with sound, I don't know what. There's a resistor here. Effect chance something's actually broken. I'm looking at the wrong place. Started looking at the wrong board there. We have a capacitor. There's a coil down here. You can see it better this way. Some very light wires, which are really easy to break. Now, is that a solder connection back there? It's pretty hard to get at. Well, I can do some poking to find out if that's the source of the problem. Light wire there. So waxed in slug. Everything is pretty solid. Oh, there's an old capacitor there. That's part of the that's part of these two connectors, not part of this deal. So here we have the FM cable. Looks pretty solidly soldered down there, and then it goes quite a distance, and it's not very likely to be. No. So I can't see anything. I don't see anything, but good to look this over ahead of time, get an idea what's in there. Oh, there's another part coming off the back here. A resistor. I think it's a resistor. Okay, let's get this guy operating, and then we'll see if we can imitate the problem without having the proper plug go in there, and go from there. That's what we'll do. Okay, a couple other things that were discovered while the big test was going on with the receiver in the cabinet was some dirty controls here that need some cleaning. Button that won't stick down. That's about it. Otherwise, it was really sounding very, very good. It's great, actually. Okay. Okay, let's give it a go, and I'm going to want to start this on FM. Speakers connected, volume's down. No, it isn't. There we go. I should really start this on AM, you know, just to get a consistent notion of how well it's working. Very good. Both channels working. FM. Oh, there's no antenna. Oop, wrong control. Now this is a little. This is what confused us yesterday a little bit. This has an automatic button that when you grab the FM tuning, you depress these white buttons. This is supposedly turning on and off the automatic frequency control. It has it written right here, I think. Outside ring, shortwave log, FM automatic precise tuning. No idea what they're talking about there. FM automatic precise tuning. Okay, I just cranked up the voltage, turned on the voltage full. There we are. Let's get on with what we want to do. And that is fiddle with this board and listen to changes. Now, maybe I don't need a station. Nothing at all. plug in. Maybe the problem. Oh, focus, huh? Maybe the problem is the antenna wire out in the cabinet. Maybe it's not this. Nothing at all. So my observation here all along, when I've ever been using the FM on this radio, is that there's no such problem. But plug in the outdoor or the cabinet FM antenna and the thing becomes all juggly. So I'm going to go out and take a look at that antenna and see if that's really where the problem is. It's not in here. Now there is something weird going on here. So I have no FM antenna connected, and the Magic Eye is suggesting I've got a station tuned in, and I certainly don't. I have no antenna. I put in the antenna here. This is not a proper antenna. It's just just this yellow clip lead just hanging out here. What's going on with the guy? Well, this is kind of what was happening. Some other station in here. Let me just move the antenna. Don't think that should make any difference. Wow, what's happening? What is happening here? It does move a little bit. Without pushing the white buttons now. Okay. So, as a good guess, there's alignment problems in the FM receiver. Why this is closed now so far, I don't know. Let's just flip to AM. AM, it seems to be operating. Yeah, it's operating correctly. But on FM, how about shortwave? They haven't done anything with shortwave yet. Yeah. Okay, no antenna. Just leave the shortwave out of it for a moment, rather. And look at that, the icon's all the way down when you flip it to FM. Okay, new observation. What to do about that? Think about it. I gotta think about it quite a bit. So, the owner of this receiver and I chatted about the remaining capacitors that are still in here. His point of view was, I guess he has some faith in me. Risk is low. Go ahead, change them out, get rid of them. So they're not in there to deteriorate going forward. In the process of doing that, I may correct this problem right here. The receiver is generally working. It's receiving well, certainly AM and using the amplifier and that. So I'm not so anxious about going ahead and doing more work on it. If it was still sick, I would not want to be changing capacitors because I could just make it sicker and not even realize it. So, yeah, I think I got to stop and just think about this a little bit because it's a new observation. I hadn't noticed this before, this eye thing, and I've also thought I was able to pick up FM fairly easily in my shop here, but it just could be the antenna. I'm not using much of an antenna. Yeah, go away and think about it. I'm a little disturbed. Okay, what I've decided to do is take it back out in the garage and plug it into its own antenna and see if that phenomenon starts up again. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, well, I'm in my garage here again, and the antenna, funky antenna problem, can't make it reappear. Everything seems fine with the antenna. Don't know what was happening before. Doesn't seem to be happening now. But I had a better chance to experiment with the automatic frequency control interrupt switch. Okay, let me just turn this right down so we don't listen to it for a minute. So as I pointed out, this knob has these white switches on it. And the idea is when you grab the knob, you can't help but close the switches or open them, or the switch. And what happens is the automatic frequency control, the locking feature in FM radios turns off on this one. So with it off, you can then tune the station, and then when you let go, you should be right in the middle, and the automatic frequency control should just be that much better. But here's what actually happens here. So I'm going to do this with a fairly weak station because a strong station, it's hard to tell this is happening. So I'm going to tune it without touching those white switches. We're going to tune it. So that's about the best it's going to get. It's a weak station on purpose. Now I'm going to push the buttons and tune it. It just disappeared, right? Let's see, it's up here now. Watch my hand turn. So let go without touching the buttons. So AFC is operating. There we are. Tune's there. That's 99.2 on the dial or so. Squeeze the buttons. Disappears. Go looking for it. There it is up here. And then turn it back. So what this is telling me is the alignment of the radio is not correct, and there's no surprise in that. Most radios you can't turn the like this doesn't have this kind of feature where but a lot of radios, older radios, you could turn off the AFC to allow better tuning and then turn it on. This one's just tough to not turn it off. As for the magic eye is actually doing something. Let me tune to a stronger station here. Somewhere. Now this station, if I try the automatic frequency control on this one, so we squeeze it. Now we should be able to locate the station accurately. There it is. Let go. It still stays. The stronger station, the AFC is quite wide on here. See it snap in. It's kind of one-sided too, isn't it? If I tune this way, we get a sharp cutoff and release from the automatic frequency control. But if I go this way, it's kind of a soft thing. All just alignment issues with this radio. Enough to worry about? That's a good question.
You with things
So you can really hear it snap in.
That is really fun.
You've got two adjacent stations fighting.
Ways of valuing growth and success. And
Interestingly enough, right on the edge.
I started off with resentment.
Found its way over there. Right on the edge of the station. I've lost what I was going to say. On the edge of forgetting. Okay, got to think about all this a little bit because, I mean, clearly the radio is asking for alignment. And we should really check the AM side of this, the shortwave side of it. So before we turn our attention to what this radio can pick up on shortwave, let's look at what my SDR is picking up. Now, we're looking at a European shortwave band here. You see I'm tuned right on this signal. Pretty weak. This is on an outdoor antenna. Let's try a lower frequency, but before I do that, this is an example of the SDR I am using and its problems. You see this line right here? Can you see that it's a mirror around which these signals are mirrored? If you watch the patterns here and the patterns here, you can really see it with the signal jumping up. It jumps up over here. There's a ton of nonsense in the SDR here that I have. Maybe it's overloaded in some way. Could be overloaded, causing these problems. I don't know. But this kind of stuff haunts me all the time when I use the SDR. And what is this? What is this? Morse code, I think. Oops. Nope. Now that sounds like FT8 right there. Ham radio FT8. There's some Morse code. A little fast for me. Let's try going up to 15 megacycle, 19 meter band. Usually there's a good signal. Well, I don't know. Will I go that high with this? So this radio's got two bands on it. I'm going to want to test both. But one band, the highest frequency is just below 7. Not likely to pick anything up at this time of day. The other band is from 7 to 22. So we could certainly rummage around this area here. Now, who we got here? Is this 770? This is the strong. Doesn't sound particularly strong. And another, we'll go the other way. We'll go down to 9. And we'll look at 9330. Here we are. This is really strong. Oh my gosh, really strong.
Visit us at worldslastchance.com and learn the benefits of memory.
It's the world's last chance. Well, it might be last chance for people, but I think the world's going to do fine. Okay, so that's a quick hop around. Not too much on here. There's a few signals in here. We'll just tune around, but we should start with this big strong guy at 9.330, and we'll just go from there on the higher shortwave band. We'll see what happens. Okay, now I'm going to transfer the antenna from the SDR to this radio. Shortwave antenna. Whoops. Sure it's going in here. I'm going to hook up just the center conductor, if you like, of the coax I'm using. We're going to leave this ungrounded to start. We'll see how it goes. Okay, everything's ready, I think. We're good. So we're going to do shortwave 1, 2, 1. What's with those German guys? How come nothing's coming on? What happened? Oh, No power plugged in. Okay. It's always great when you solve problems like that. Here we go. Now we're cooking. So I'll tune this down around 9. 9.3 would be right around in here. Volume. Give it the full power. And I think I ripped off that. Yeah, ripped off one of the speaker wires here. Let's put it back on. Ripped off a clip lead. Snapped off a clip lead. Okay. Oops. Got that antenna connection. Let's try this. Let's try this. That's better. Okay. Right around here.
If you render your will, Yah will force you.
Yahweh.
Yah, it's not like that, you know. And that's what the devil does, you see. So when it's about something that does not impact another's free will, are there any tips you can share on how to pray effectively? Yes, there are.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Were there other gods? Okay, here we go. So we're up around 15 here. His master's whatever it is. Fading in and out. Couple stations there. Very tricky to tune up here. Magic Eye is not moving on this at all. So these do nothing. These buttons do nothing. This FM tuning should do nothing. Why is it doing something? What is with that? I must be just brushing the regular knob. What is that all about? So if you're not following what's happening, I'm tuning the FM tuner and the AM one is reacting. Let's go back to the strong station and try that down here. 9.3. You might not be able to tell. What 9.3? Very tricky radio to tune. Okay, tuning the FM side.
It will be seek.
Oh my gosh.
For everyone who asks receives.
Is that supposed to be? No, that can't be fine tuning for shortwave.
Do if his son asks. Or if he asks for a thing.
What am I doing here? Am I doing something stupid?
Being evil.
This is definitely the FM pointer
Give
going.
good gifts to children. How much more will your Father
Magic Eye's doing really good.
things to those who ask him? If your child came to you
Strong
really
station.
excited and eagerly asked for something, but you give it to him? Of course not. Neither will Yahweh. If we come to him seeking what we think will be a blessing, but so he knows what that not going to give it to us. Instead,
Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh. Who would even think to check such a thing? So what is happening here? Am I? Let me tune it
another
in.
thing you should do, surprise.
Yeah. What is happening here?
The Bible is full of promises. There are promises to meet every need, every emergency. So find a promise that meets your
There we are.
needs
And I'm going to
and
tune
present
the
it
regular
to
knob
God.
off just a wee bit.
Claim His words for your own.
Can we find it now with the
In
FM?
front of you,
Oh my
say,
gosh.
"You-" Now claim it. Now that is.
What is happening?
And I'd like to share a passage from Isaiah that speaks.
A little further.
Please go ahead. Fine. It's a little bit long, but full impact. You need to.
Is there something special about this? I don't know.
Yeah, well, he's urging
What's
people to
going on
trust
here?
him, and he explains that his very words contain the power to do what he says. So listen to this while I read verses 6 to 11.
I can't believe this is happening. Does it happen on?
While he
Does it happen on AM radio? Can I? What are the chances? Okay, we'll try to find something on AM. This AM radio worked pretty good in my garage, by the way. Look at, can you see the signal? You don't hear anything. Unmodulated interference signal. Okay, so here's a station. Okay, it sounds terrible. That's okay. We'll do this now. No, doing nothing. In this radio, when you're listening to AM, tuning the FM does nothing. Well, come on. Well, let's go to this other band. Shortwave band. I don't think there's going to be much there to pick up. Let's see. Well, noises. Anyway, that'll do. We would go up at the high end here. There was actually a shortwave station broadcasting out of Toronto. A station called CFRB 1010 also broadcasts at 6.6060. Right around here somewhere. But I don't think I can get it. So we'll just find something. Something good. Very close to a ham radio band up here. Okay, let's just try that. It's nothing but a hum there, and I can see from the magic eye. What happens if you tune the FM? It's going very slowly. Or am I bumping? Maybe I'm bumping the other control. I bumped it there. I did bump it. Maybe something better. Okay, that's a bona fide shortwave signal. Tuning the FM now. Can it get weirder? So, when I tune the FM that way, I can hear an effect. When I tune it back, I don't hear the effect. That's not too good either. Here we go. Watch. One way. Nope, I don't hear anything now. Good demonstration. They're here now. Not here. Wow. It could just be. Okay, let's go back to shortwave 1 and see if it still does the weirdness. You son of a gun. You know what? You know what? You know what? This isn't the problem. This is made this way. Down here it says shortwave log. And then it has 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. It's exactly what it is. It's the fine tuning on shortwave. Outside ring, shortwave log. Okay, that makes sense now. So that's what they've done here. These tricky German engineers have managed to make this a super knob. Tunes FM has a switch to shut off the AVC, and in shortwave, at least on band number 1, it becomes the fine tuning. So you want to listen to shortwave, you should first tune the FM to the center spot here, the neutral spot if you like, just like any fine tuning control. Then you tune in your station. Now, it's absurd that there's log numbers here, really. You log it so you can return to the same settings, but you can never get this knob set to exactly the right spot. I mean, this is so precise. But anyway, a little fine tuning now. And it faded out. The signal faded out there. There's like a hysteresis involved. But hysteresis, that's something external to the radio. Hysteresis involved here, where if you tune in one direction, again I'm using a fading signal. Okay, right there. Here. No, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just hunting for anything that might seem to be out of sorts. Okay, probably if I read the manual, it probably says, well, it says it right here. I just didn't understand what I was reading. What else is on here? Over here it says, small knob AM tuning. Are you calling me a small knob? Is that what they're doing? Tune for broad and brightness. Small knob volume. This is for people like me. Inside rotary antenna. The antenna is inside the radio. Okay. Hey, it's fun. We're having fun. This is fun. 13 megahertz up in this area. Unfortunately. You know what this is? I think. This light. Watch this. I'll cut the voltage back. You just reduce the supply of voltage to those two, my 2 bench LED spotlights I use. You run too much voltage to them. I guess there's probably a regulator in there that starts going, and you heard the result. Still there. Yeah. Well, that's actually a very important feature to successfully use this radio. So we go down to, again, well, a 9.3 is a very strong signal.
All over the counter. It is immediately obvious what fills up the pockets of the sponge.
Lovely.
These are so helpful with cleaning. But the same holds true for us too. We can tell what fills us from the inside by what comes out under pressure.
Well, that's been fun.
Since maybe it's a colorful vocabulary, or
Back to
in
FM.
times of pressure.
Look at the eye is the magic eye is wide open now. How come? How come you're doing this? No antenna, maybe, but it was closed before. I have a little more to say about that in just a moment. Can you pick anything up? Strong guy down here. Well, not with this knob you can't. It's no antenna. You can see the eyes working. Well, now I'm going to say more about that. When I put this in the cabinet a little while ago, today, to test it, at first the eye did this. It worked good on FM, and then a moment later it didn't. And during that time I was just kind of moving the chassis a little bit. So I think there might be something underneath that's being pushed or touched. This is sitting here. Right now it's not, so everything is working. Let's put an antenna in. Don't say that until you know it. Is everything working? Let's give it a chance. Okay. The eye is almost closed.
We're in the South.
Yeah, it's working perfect.
Conservative radio hosts outside the South who are typical. They play a kind of John the Baptist role, preparing the way for the partisan transformation of the South from deep Democrat to Republican. Do so by playing on racist, segregationist fears.
And there's another pivotal moment that McIntyre is right in the center of. It comes just as McIntyre and his ilk are building this fear of a fifth column, the Red Menace, creeping Bolshevism, Uncle Joseph's secret power. You know what? No, I'm just going to let them.
You can't under political scene in the 1960s without
Here, the ABC takes some time to capture the signal after I let go of the buttons here.
At the time was just driven by paranoid fears of.
And this brings us to the point of McIntyre. Just how powerful this communist hysteria really is. I'm talking about, yep, we're here, say it with me, it's the Polish ham boycott of 2. I know you were wondering when I'd get to the Polish ham boycott of 1962. Well, here we are.
The Polish ham boycott, 1962. Okay, I've made lots of observations here. I'm going to stop. I'll let this stuff cook in my head the rest of today while I go outside and enjoy another fantastic day today. I shouldn't be in here at all. And try to decide what am I going to do. What am I going to do with this, along with changing all those capacitors? Maybe that's really the next step. Just change out all those old capacitors and then see how well it's performing. But it's doing pretty good right now. See ya.